All right, so after the two other uploads that I have made today about this mysterious box, I know y'all are probably asking the question, what's in the box? Well, it's this review. And yes, that was a cringy intro just to make a bit about the movie that I just saw. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reactions, and this was the big movie that I came up to see in Indy today, and that is the re-release of SE7EN, or SE7EN, just to get the title correct. This movie, of course, stars Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman as two detectives trying to solve a case involving a serial killer that uses the 7 deadly sins. So, I knew of David Fincher, and I knew of his work. I think one of the videos that I like to go back and watch frequently is Chris Stuckman's review of Alien 3, which was David Fincher's first film, and he doesn't like to talk about Alien 3 all that much because, well, it was more so of a studio thing rather than a him decision in directing that film. So he doesn't necessarily see that as his film, but he has gone on to become a legendary director in his own right, making all sorts of classic films. But I think this is probably his most mainstream film that he's made. Like, when people say the name David Fincher, they immediately think of this movie. And I can see why. This, after 30 years, which, yes, SE7EN does turn 30 this year, I still think it holds up 30 years later. It is absolutely riveting how the story not only clips by, but also you get to know about the characters as they go along. For instance, Morgan Freeman's character, William Summersoft, I believe is his last name. He is the grizzled cop who is a week away from retirement, and he is just trying to get through this last week when this new case comes by, and when this new guy, David Mills, Brad Pitt's character, comes in as a transfer to the branch. And you can definitely see the weariness and the experience on Freeman's face and through his actions, and just how he talks to people, not only when he goes to the library, but also like in the station, or talking to Tracy, I believe her name was Tracy, yeah, to Tracy, Gwyneth Paltrow, when they meet up at a diner. He just seems like a guy that, you know, had his purpose, was very much so like Brad Pitt's character, maybe not on the side of, you know, shooting first and asking questions, but like asking questions and then putting on judgment. But he's definitely been ground down by the city, whereas Brad Pitt's character is the opposite side of that coin. They just came in. He's full of energy, wanting to, again, shoot first, ask questions later. And he doesn't have all that experience. And I love these conversations where you can see both sides of the argument. In fact, in one bar scene, I think towards the midpoint of the film, William talks about how, you know, he's seen the city, beat him down, just grind him down to where he is now, where he wants to retire and go to a cabin. But Mills says, you only tell yourself that because you want to retire, not because you're or retiring because of all these things. You say all these things because you're retiring. You're not retiring because of all these things. And I found that argument to be very, very interesting. Now, of course, the twist of it all is that they do find John Doe, who is played by Kevin Spacey. But that ending reveal, you know, I could see it a mile away because, you know, I've heard the famous line from this movie, "What's in the box?" and all that stuff. But it still hits really hard. And spoilers, this is a massive spoiler for the movie, but Mills does end up shooting John Doe. And it just fulfills the entire thing that John Doe was wanted to do. And that, at one point, it is satisfying to see, you know, the complete thing come together. But I would love to envision an idea in which Will stops Mills, from pulling that trigger. And what if John Doe did get his just desserts? Would that be as satisfying of an ending to the film? Not saying that, you know, change up the ending, because I love the ending of this film. But I would just like to envision, like, what if, you know, he hadn't have pulled the trigger? What if they had actually brought him back to the police station, got him through his thing, because they said that he would give a signed confession. Like, what if they did bring him back, get him to sign that confession, got him a guilty plea, and he rots in prison? What if that happens? But yeah, you can definitely also, I wanted to say, you could also definitely see a lot of inspiration from Matt Reeves when he made his Batman film. You could definitely see that influence all over that movie, and how he referenced Seven. With it raining all the time, the noir stuff, even with the notebooks written, Riddler had like the bank binders written with all sorts of crazy writings as well. Like, you could definitely see the movie's influence still affecting media today. So, yeah, Seven is an absolute classic. I'm very glad that I was able to catch its re-release in IMAX. If for some reason you have not seen this movie, I spoiled a lot, but I highly recommend you check it out. But yeah, that's it for today. I'll catch you guys next week with some more movies. I'll catch you guys there.